Guys, my name is Rage and we're back today with a quick brief overview video of the upcoming legendary Adam Warlock, who's officially confirmed now in the last update a few days ago, confirmed by Scopely themselves. We're going to take a look at two legendary events that have happened in the past to kind of get a sense in terms of what can we expect likely, as well as my predictions in terms of where we can expect the characters to farm. So first and foremost, I'm sure you guys have heard, very similar to the previous legendary lab that was released last year, being Ebony Maw completing the Black Order. Ebony Maw was one of the first legendaries in the game that actually required another legendary to actually unlock. In this case, having Black Bolt being that requirement, as well as his fellow Inhumans that you can utilize here, as you can see with the 5 other characters. One thing to note is, you can see that a lot of these characters are actually quite very friendly to be able to farm. Karnak is available in the campaign, Crystal is available through the arena, Quake was available through the arena as well, as she's actually available through campaign as well. So I mean, they definitely opened her up to more versatility, which is nice to see for the free-to-play community. And most recently, Yo-Yo has actually been added as well to the raid store. So over a year plus of being in the premium orbs, now she is available. So it's nice to see that transition. It gives us a sense in terms of when they potentially would be moving characters. Now it's gonna be Anti-Venom sitting in the premium orbs as well. Call Obsidian. Last but not least, Miss Marvel also makes the cut for this team, being a fellow Inhuman and also as well campaign farmable. That being said, this was last year and it's very quite friendly to be able to unlock Ebony Maw, which is very nice. The only caveat, however, was just making sure that you had the 5 yellow star requirement. With that in mind now, let's take a look at one of the most recent legendaries, being Jubilee, and her requirement was actually the Pim Tech. So if we take a look here now and filter out the Pim Tech, these were the 5 that were released, and the fortunate good news is that they did make them quite farmable right before leading up to Jubilee's event. And even for myself, I was actually able to capitalize and unlock Jubilee in the first time she was released. And me being 100% free to play, I think that's going to be quite feasible, hopefully for as well Adam Warlock. Let's take a look at the characters though that were available. First and foremost, Ant-Man and Wasp at the very end here. Those two were available in the game, being both campaign farmable. So a lot of players likely have them at already 5, 6, or 7 yellow stars. I didn't get a chance to farm Wasp as much as I wanted to, and I didn't realize that the Pim Tech was going to be utilized. So I mean, that's why she's only at 5, but I am starting to farm her more now to just bring her to that 6, ultimately unlocking hopefully Jubilee in the next legendary event that comes. And do notice that the other 3 would be Ghost, Stature, and Yellowjacket. Stature is very, very friendly in the campaign farmable, so she was made available quite easily. Also keep in mind, Stature is going to was originally available through an event, so a lot of players would already have her at 5 yellow, so that's why it was quite easy to do. The really big one was actually Yellowjacket. Main reason being him was that he was released with the newer Doom chapters, and as you can see here to the right, he's available in 3.6, so that's near the ending stages of Doom Chapter 3. And when he was released at the very end, that's really the swap that he took place of for Graviton, so that made it a little bit of a time crunch for me. But fortunately, they always have the 2x events, really allowing us players to be able to capitalize, refresh our power cores, and obviously getting those double shards. The last one that actually did take up the most time was Ghost. Ghost, is one of the better characters in Dark Dimension. Very feasible. The fact that she's become a staple now in DD3 and DD4. So I was a little worried that they would actually make her easy to farm. And that's why, ideally, they put her in actually the War Store. I don't see it here because she's not available right now in my current offering. But the War Store is actually one I'm afraid of the most because of the fact that there's a really heavy set already of specialized characters in the War Store. We take a look at both these situations now, reflecting on both the Black Bolt unlocking Ebony Maw, as well as most recently Jubilee's legendary event. We can finally take a look and apply this situation now to the X Factor team. And X Factor, it consists of Shatterstar, Longshot, Multiple Man, as well as Polaris. Now, I don't deny that I think most players are going to have Shatterstar at 5, hopefully 4, and a few more shards, but I imagine he's likely going to be added to the campaign just because we already saw that being utilized with Stature. So I would assume, hopefully, that this is going to be more friendly for the free-to-play. So that's I would not worry about that one being a 5. Longshot's the other one that's a little worrisome, is the fact that I only have him in 3, and honestly speaking, you're gonna have to make a couple of characters here available for the free to play in order to make it feasible for us to unlock either the first or second offering. And him, I only have 27 shards until the 4 yellow, but we're going to need him quite available, either in the Blitz store, maybe the Raid store, but I can't see the Raid since it just added Yo-Yo. So it's going to be definitely hard to say. Potentially Arena I can see for sure. That's definitely feasible. The other one to note is Multiple Man was offered very similar as well to the stature. He had an event of his own. I think a lot of players will either have him at 4 or 5. I should have went a little harder on him, unfortunately, but didn't get a chance to, as you can see here with the 4. And hopefully they also release him in another campaign as well, seeing that consistency between the last 2 legendary events we have noted. Last but not least, I think by far the hardest one that's going to be similar to what we've seen with Ghost and the Pimtech team is going to be Polaris. Although Polaris was offered in the Strike Pass for those who want to take advantage and can double up on the shards. You know, you can see here 100% free to play. I could only get her to 3 yellow, and that's also because I actually got super lucky opening a mega orb with her that actually contains shards for her. So likely a lot of players only have her 2 yellow, and I think she's likely going to actually be included in the supply store, being the war store, just because the war store is the most heaviest one in terms of specialization. It has the best characters. Think about it, with Mr. Sinister being included, Minerva. There's a lot of key characters that are actually included in the war store, which makes it even more difficult to farm, because looking at it right now, me getting lucky with the 3 yellow, we're going to need a lot. We're going to need over 100 plus shards just to get her to 5 yellow. So I think for now, you guys, this would be an opportune moment to start saving up your war credits. So even here, as you can see here, I have about 5,500 right now. I'm probably going to be reserving this right now going forward just to save up for her, because if she is going to be highly likely to be put into the war store, just due to the fact that her shards were the least, and knowing the way we know Scopely now with events in terms of how they like to release them, usually the most coveted characters are the ones that are placed into the war store. So in overview, you guys, I do see Shatterstar and Longshot potentially being added either into the campaign nodes as well as the supply store. Multiple Man can definitely be seen as campaign, but I think Polaris definitely stands the highest chance of being placed in the war store. The other 3 shouldn't be an issue for a lot of players. But keep in mind, there's also a 5th character that's going to be required here, and that's going to be, unfortunately, Jubilee. And with her, keep in mind, you also need to have 5 Pimtech characters to unlock her at a minimum of 5. And the one downside about this legendary unlock, unlike the previous one, is that if you look on the Marvel Strike Force blog, this is actually going to be the first time that they released a Mythic legendary. And in that classification, we actually do need to go in here and ensure that everyone's level 65, to ensure they have a gear tier level 12, as well as ISO 8 level 3. So definitely going to be one of the highest requirements. But seeing Adam Warlock's kit, what he's going to bring, especially to the Infinity Watch, I think it's going to be worth it. It's just going to be tight. I think a lot of free-to-play players will have definitely a hard time getting in the first go-around. It really honestly depends how these characters are going to be released. That's my preview overall in terms of what I can expect, as well as my predictions. So hope you guys can start prepping. Hope this video helps you guys at least able to kind of gain some insight, because I do think they try to be very fair to the free-to-play community, but obviously at the end of the day, RNG is RNG, depending on how you did on the events, the orbs you got. That can all come down to the wire for sure. If not the first round, I think a lot of players will be able to unlock Adam Warlock in the second go-around, so that's going to be my goal, and if I can get him in the first attempt, that'll be even better. Thank you as always, you guys. Hope you appreciate the insight, and as always, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.